Hey everybody, Spine Ticks Pressing here, and I'm back with Strange Adventures number 205, the first appearance of Deadman. Well, you're going to want to stay tuned because we're going to be working on this cover and really working hard on getting it into fantastic shape. And I'll be talking about a few other things, so let's get to it!
Alright, so what I'm going to use to start off cleaning this book is going to be a simple facial pad, and maybe I need to get a couple new ones. I'm not too happy with those, so I buy these. I get them on Amazon, a couple bucks for like 300, might be like $3 for like about 300 of these pads. And normally with a modern book, I'll probably go one pad for the front, one for the back. This particular book is so dirty, and I think most of the issue with this book being as low as a 4.5 is from the dirt and the grime that's on the book. So we'll start off with using the pad here, and from there the next level of cleaning is going to be eraser work, primarily the Absorine eraser. And I buy it's a large square, and I cut it into lots of little different chunks, and I feel like I can get a lot of use out of one. You know, like this whole one I should for sure work for this whole book, front and back cover, because I could just change sides. And then my next level will be a white eraser. The back, I'll probably use this primarily in the back because it's a large, wide tip. It's not very precise, but for more precise areas, I like to use this particular eraser. I picked this up at Hobby Lobby for a few dollars, and it's a nice white eraser that I can sharpen the tip and make it, you know, nice and precise. And then when I get dirt on it, I'll just kind of rub it either on my pants if I'm wearing denim, or I could just rub it right here on the Absorine eraser, and it'll clean up really nicely. So you can see it's a nice white tip right now. And so I will focus using this only in the areas that are white, you know, like going around this area here. And on this particular book, I think it's gonna really benefit from this. I think where these whites are going to really pop. You can see right now just a little bit that I did. I'll try to hold it up by the camera, and you can see, I think you can see the little bit of grime that's already starting to accumulate. So you know, this works great. It's a great little tool. I like this. So let's get to it with our pads, starting off with facial pads. So I'm going to put this up here. I want to save that so that someday I can send it into CGC. Now, as I go over the book, I like to go in a kind of a rotational pattern, and then when I'm near the edges, I'll just do like a pull down. Got a little bit of something there. It looks like a fingerprint, and I hadn't noticed that before. It is not part of the color, but I can see it. I can absolutely see this fingerprint. And let's see, am I getting it out? I think I am getting it out, actually. Well, I don't know, I still see it right in there. So I think just in time I will get it up. But the good news is it hasn't affected any of the color. So these particular pads have wider ridges and then a more fine ridge. I really like to use the wider ridge first to try to go in and pick up larger bits of goop and crap and dirt, because just over time these books get so dirty. And just pulling from the center out. Got a little bit of crud right here on the clown's back, and I'm going to try to see if, I just try to see if I stay in this area a little bit with my pad, if I can get it out, or if it's diminishing. it does appear to be diminishing. You can flip it over to the back and use the smaller, more compact ridges. See if that helps. I feel like I'm getting some of it out. Now with larger pieces of goop and crap that are on a book, there's lots of things you can try to do. You can try to scrape it with different implements. I don't like to scrape with anything other than paper. And I'll try to use, something, as an example. This is kind of rigid and has a nice sharp edge. And then I just work at it with a paper edge. And I've had really good success with that. So just going over, take a look at the pad every so often. I'm not seeing a lot of dirt on the pad. I feel like the front really does look pretty good. And, as I hit certain areas, I just kind of try to gauge what I feel. Do I feel the pad grabbing on the book? If it is, it means there's some type of dirt or something on the book that's grabbing, that's coming off. I feel like this area up here, these greens are really starting to accentuate. I really feel like, let's take a look at it now. You can see there's a fair amount of dirt now coming off the pad in this area. A lot of goop and dirt right in this area here. Now, another thing that you can do on trying to pick up goop and other types of dirt, that pad now on that side is too dirty. This one's a little dirty on this side, but I'll use it a little bit longer, and then I'm going to switch. I found that you can use a dryer sheet, get an unscented dryer sheet, and you can use the dryer sheet on a book. And I like to use it as the very last step after the book has been pressed, because what it does is it takes puts like a waxy coat on the book and revitalizes the gloss a little bit. Now, I have noticed that if you try to use the dryer sheet early in the process before the final press, that once you put the book in the press, that sheen, that gloss, it tends to go away. You lose it a little bit. So all right, so I'm going to switch pads out and focus more on some of these grimier areas. I'm going to be really gentle around this corner here because I can already see that there's damage there. And let's rotate this. And did some of the goop up in here. So I have this stain. It does not appear to be coming out. I take that back. I just hit an area focused there a little bit, and some of it did come out. So I'm just going to continue. So I love it when you start to get progress on some of these goop stains where they just start to come off the page. And I definitely can tell that it's coming out. So I'll just keep working at it, try to get some of the larger pieces of the goop, and my Absorine eraser probably will get the last of it. There's a lot right in here. It's just kind of thick. It's just something got on the book, and over time the dirt sort of just stuck to it. Now the Absorine eraser is a little bit more invasive than the pad. You can go a long time in one area with the Absorine eraser and not have any color loss, but you can't do it forever because it will damage the book. So I prefer to try to get as much off with this as I can before I go to the next stage. Now, I'm not going to flip this book over. I'm going to continue to use this. I'm looking at that edge now. And I thought I saw right through it. I thought maybe it was a tear. But now that I look at it, it doesn't look like it's a tear. But a lot of this, as you notice, was not in like this large stain. This is a substantial stain. And it was not listed in the grader's notes at all. So you can't, I think, I like selecting a book. Like I really wanted this book as part of my personal collection. And so I looked at a lot of books for sale in a price range that I thought was doable for me. And this particular book, I think I paid maybe $350 for it. Can't recall, but it was excess of $300, and but I really wanted it bad. And the higher, the 6 O's, the 7 O's, 8 O's were super expensive, like in the $1,000 plus. And so, what I like to try to do is build equity into my books. I looked at a lot of books online. I looked at the grader's notes until I found one that I thought had, I thought one that was presenting well, and it had some defects that I could correct. And I feel like this one has quite a few that I can correct. So there's a piece of gunk right there, and I can feel it. It's not really moving. I can feel it. Now, one of the things that I do is that I will take a backer board and cut it into strips. I'm gonna find mine here. And I'll make a strip like this. And then what I do is I'll use, if I have a piece of gunk, I'll use this corner and very, very gently just kind of try to chip away at it. Like so. Now this one, I can feel it. It is really definitely above the page. If I wanted to look at it in more detail, I could get my glasses and look at it, but I can see that it is a piece of crap that is stuck to the page, and you just have to be careful. So like a large piece of it just came off. You got to just kind of go around the shape of the object, of the clump, and one of the edges will be sticking up enough to where the paper can grab it. And then you just kind of gently scrape at it. And so I almost have it off completely. I should have took a close-up picture of it. I could have put that one on Facebook. But the one negative is that generally with these kind of clumps that are like a physical clump of something, is that you're going to have a spot. Because of the number of years in the age of the book, that area underneath the stain didn't get the same level of sunlight exposure as the rest of the book. And so you just are not going to be able to completely get rid of it. But that's improved tremendously. When I look at it straight on, I still see the spot, but I don't see the clump. And that's what I want. I don't want the clump, because to me, that's a dead giveaway. CGC can see that and just go, look, there's residue on the cover. Now, this little area right here, I have like a little white spot, and I want to stay away from that. I don't want to aggravate that white spot any more than it has to be. So I'm just trying to work on this from the side. And we'll just kind of do that. I'm just using that long edge in there. Look, I really am very happy with that result. Very difficult, but let me zoom in. I wish I had zoomed in before. But there was a pink, you can still see the spot where it was. It's right there on this bottom left corner of my pointer. Right there, and you can still see the little spot where it was, but the three-dimensional clump of crap that was there is gone, and that's a beautiful thing. Happy with that if it doesn't. So I think I've made some pretty good progress on the front with the staining. I cannot see, yeah, I can see a little bit of it there, but the stain that was up here, most of it is gone. And let's see if that stain is no, but no, it just doesn't feel like it is to me. I think there is a little bit of residue that's up, but buffing seems to really do the trick up here. Okay, so let's brush it off and maybe get to the next phase, which will be the Absorine eraser. As I mentioned before, you can buy, I think Amazon sells these for about 12 bucks, 13 bucks, and you get the Absorine eraser and you get the bucket of the, it's like Play-Doh, but I don't like it. Whatever you do, don't use it and try to reuse it. You have to, if you get the bucket of stuff and you roll it on your book or you rub it on it, throw it away. Because if you throw it back in the tub, bacteria from your finger or bacteria from the air gets in there and it just really jacks it up, and it gets almost like moldy. This, I love the Absorine eraser because when I start cleaning with it, I just see dramatic changes. And I just did right here, like the pinks of this woman here look so much better than they did. So I've taken a lot of dirt out of it. And I just like to start and work on little sections until I get the whole book. So I'll probably work on this section first, then go to here, and rotate the book and work on the top. And I'm also holding the book down with my fingers to give it some stability because I don't want to cause a tear or anything like that. So I'm looking right in this area now where the fingerprint was, and I may have gotten it. It may be gone. I don't see it anymore. This, to me, I think this is the best cleaning tool that I have. The white erasers are great, but in terms of getting a nice holistic removal of crap and gunk, the Absorine eraser is the best. So it just brings out the whites, just gets grime off the books. So now as I get closer to the edge or the spine, I'm really light. I'm really light with my pressure, and I might use shorter strokes. I'm looking again to try to see if I can see where that fingerprint is. There it was. It was right in there. I see it a little bit still, but it's definitely improved. I'm going to go over it a little bit. Sometimes I go different directions. And yeah, wow. It's much better. And to me, this is just the best part of this hobby is, obviously I see collecting as a way to, have something that's enjoyable, but yet also has some equity to it that I can take my books and I can upgrade to other books that I'm wanting. My tastes may change over time, and they have from when I first started collecting in the mid 80s to now. But this is really a wonderful way to increase and put some value back in your book. And I know I do a lot of this for myself, but I got to tell you, I've really been picking up. I have a number of consistent customers now. I think the most notable one is Hanger 18. I've done, I think, 20 books for him now. We just did a 10-book submission of Jim Lee covers for the Jim Lee CGC signing. And I recently got, I think, about 22 books from my LCS. There's a number of different owners, and they wanted some work done, and so I've actually been working on those. And I've been spending a fair amount of time working on other people's books, and I'm pretty happy. I'm just enjoying this process of cleaning and pressing, and trying to grow a business. And if you are at all interested in having this done to your books, but you may or may not be interested in the time that it takes to do this, because it is fairly time consuming. I mean, it takes hours. And, I don't charge a whole lot per book. I think I'm doing 15 for the moderns, which, if they're in really good shape, you can do them relatively quickly. But I think I'm just in it for the enjoyment and the working on the book, and putting these pieces of art and history in my hands. I just love them. Comic collecting has really done good things for me, has treated me very well over the years, and so I just enjoy this process. So I do this now professionally. If you're at all interested, please let me know. If you're enjoying this video so far, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and turn on that notification bell so that you know when another video comes out. Now, I'm really excited to tell you that I am working on a hobby room, and I didn't really have anywhere to put it, so it's going in my garage, which just doesn't seem like the best place for something like that, but it's going to work out really well for a number of reasons. But it's going to be good. I'm really excited. I've got the vision of it. I know what I'm trying to create, and I think between now and maybe early spring, I should have it done, and making pretty good progress so far on it. So now I'm going to look at it, see how the staining is up here. It did start in this area, and I see little remnants of it, but for the most part, it's all gone. And then some of the larger clumps. Oh, I just went over 2 of them, and I didn't see them anymore. No, they're still there. Oh, they're coming up. I can see it lifting the more I use my Absterene sponge on that area. Notice I've taken these 2 fingers and I'm just applying pressure to the book so that I don't damage the integrity of the page. In the center of the book, and where there's a big stain or something I want to get up, I will probably use a little bit more elbow grease than I should. But always found it really interesting, the look of Deadman and Daredevil. But I do think Deadman has evolved into really a nice looking character. I like the aesthetics of the way he looks. I really dig the powers. I like the background, his origin and background. Really kind of a cool character. And I think I've said it before. I think of maybe the first introduction that I had to to Deadman was in Brave and the Bold. There's on my HBO Max, I get all the DC cartoons that they come up with, or I don't know, maybe it was just my generation. I grew up on cartoons in the 70s and the 80s as a kid, and that's what you did on Saturday morning, man. You woke up and you got your big ass bowl of cereal out and you just sat in front of the TV and you just watched them. Nowadays, you can, I think things are better in the sense that you can go out and you can go to somewhere like HBO Max and like just binge watch episode after episode of whatever it is you like. And with YouTube, you can find damn near anything that's been created. If it's been somewhat enjoyed or has any kind of a fan base, you can find those old shows. And I would think it would also be a good location for creators. I don't see much, though. I don't come across much on YouTube. I do get a lot of things on my Facebook page talking about, support this project. We're trying to create a show, and it might be an animated show. My wife cannot stand animated stuff, but I love it. And so I first saw Deadman on an episode of Brave and the Bold on HBO Max, and I really dug the character. And I do kind of think that there's some spec potential with any and all of the DC, the Justice League Dark characters like John Constantine and Swamp Thing. Those are just really strong characters, really well developed over time. Not that Marvel doesn't have similar ones, but the one thing nice about, I think, a character like Deadman in this book particularly is that these DC keys are all they're all very undervalued, in my opinion. So we'll see if the fan base increases for Deadman, and we get a bump in the value of this book. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way this is coming out so far. It really looks good. I'm getting a lot of grime, and the colors just look so much more even now, and I can see little indentations in the book, and I know when I press it, they're all going to come out really nicely. Like there's just this edge right here has been compressed, and that should come out nicely. Now sometimes this Absorine eraser, and I don't know if you can see the dirt on it that we've picked up. I think you can. I haven't hit that side, but that side you can see is fairly dirty. And you can see it's mostly located in the center of the eraser. So I feel right now, to my eyes, this looks much better. Some, I don't know what's going on up here. It's some little areas that I'm just not happy with. The back of the clown still has that residue, whatever that is. It doesn't seem to be budging much. I'll try a little bit more aggressively with the Absorine eraser and see if it comes up. But if it doesn't, you're just going to have to leave it. You can't try, like I said, the best thing to do is, stiff paper like a backer board, and just try to see if you can get some type of movement if it's some kind of residue. But you cannot try erasing a dark area of a book. You'll regret it. You really will. So I'm going to go now with my precise white eraser, and I'm going to start working on these white areas of the book, and I'm just going to go around them and just erase it. I try to stay off the lines. If there's anything dark near the white, I want to stay away from it. I don't want to lift up those colors. There's some white right here along the gun sight, you know, some little thin strips. And yeah, I mean, it's a fair amount of dirt accumulating on this tip. So now I'm going to go over the claw. This is the guy. This is what I like so much about this cover. This is the person who killed Deadman. This criminal guy here who's, I think, been hired to kill him. We get this claw hand, you know, which I'm sure in 1967 was, you know, very high tech technology for people who had lost limbs. I mean, now it's much better, and you know, we've got some things in movies like Luke Skywalker's robotic hand, but I don't know if you can see that, but these whites are just really becoming more vibrant. Let me try to show you the tip of the pencil again. I gotta hold it down. You can see that outline where it's picking up a lot of dirt. So now I'm going to go over some more whites and just keep moving right up in here. This is really an area, large area of white. There's some right in there. And yep, a lot of dirt is coming up. And let's go over the D again and go over the Deadman name. Very cool character. Very, very cool Boston brand. And kind of sad. Kind of a sad story. A little bit of karma. You know, he was a little bit of a jerk. But did not deserve to be sniped like he was. And I love the fact that, you know, his name is Boston Brand, but I'm not sure where. Can't recall if the story takes place in the Northeast, but in the cartoon, he's got a very distinct accent. I think it's kind of like a New Yorker, Bostonian type accent, and I think it really accentuates the character. Wow, big difference. Big, look at that. Now I had already cleaned this tip. Let's see if I hold it like that. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. It definitely picks up the pencil when I turn it sideways. But very, very dirty. Very, very dirty. A lot of dirt came off that Deadman logo. All right, let's hit the clown. And there are some, I've noticed I don't know if you can pick up on it, but in some of the whites, there's I don't know, there's just this strange pink color, like a red color that gets into it. And some of it comes out. I don't want to get too much onto the black. Some of it does come out, but what I've noticed is that a lot of it improves under the LED blue light. And I picked up my LED blue lights, I think for about $40 or so a piece. And yeah, I've been really happy with that purchase. Yeah, see an area like this where there's whites, but there's lots of little black lines. I don't know. You can't spend too much time there because you'll pick up some of the black and you could spread it into the whites. And you can see that what I was talking about this pinkish hue around the whites. You see a lot of it right up in here around this basket. Let's get over here to the comic code area. Now remember, this is an area that I want to really be gentle with because that corner doesn't look so great, and it's not going to look great until I get it pressed. All right, so I've cleaned the tip off completely, and this is what's so beautiful about this little fine tip white eraser, is you can really get in and do a lot of detail work. And Try to focus on these larger areas. This is the best. I love this. This is so enjoyable to see what we can do and how much we can improve this book. All right, we're getting closer. It's a little bit better. See if you can see that. That spot right there, that was all from the Comic Code Authority area. Let's go back. I'm gonna clean the tip of the pencil. There it is, clean. You can see it's very white. And now let's go over the DC area. Now this is a danger zone. These pink colors are very susceptible to erasers. They will come up if you spend any kind of time on them. They will come up, and you don't want that. You don't want to smear it. You don't want to lighten it. You want to maintain, especially if it's a good solid pink, you want to maintain that. Also yellow. For some reason, yellow and this pink, those two colors are very susceptible to coming up. Okay, now look at that. There we go. That's a better view. I can't quite show you the tip because once I tilt it, well, you saw it for a second. When I hold it out here like this, I get focus on the pen on this eraser pencil.
Well, hey, thanks for watching this video. In the next episode, we'll be working on the back side of this book and then moving on to some blue light treatments. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you for being here. And as always, happy hunting.